So you're interested in a Hyundai Santa Fe with just about everything that the Santa Fe has to offer. Well, behind me, I have the two highest trim levels in the Santa Fe lineup, the Limited as well as the top Calligraphy. Now, there are a few exclusive benefits to going with the Calligraphy outside of the interior and exterior appearance, which we will go over a little bit later in this video. So which one is the best one for you? Well, today we're going to find out. So before we begin this video, I do want to cover the list of exact features and options that you're gaining going to the Calligraphy over that of the Limited. Now, both of these two trim levels do feature the 2.5 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder paired to the 8-speed wet dual clutch transmission. So if you don't want the turbo or the dual clutch transmission, the top trim level in the lineup is going to be the SCL Premium, which again, you can find a dedicated video here on the channel. But even though the main benefits of going to the Calligraphy over the Limited are going to be the exterior as well as interior appearance and materials, there are a couple features and options that you are gaining over that of the Limited. So outside of the exterior design, such as the wheels, the paint match trim, some of the interior materials such as the Napa leather seating surfaces, you are gaining the micro suede headliner, the ambient interior LED lighting, the full color heads-up display, as well as the automatic up-down rear windows in addition to that of the front. So all four windows in the vehicle are going to be automatic up-down in the Calligraphy, where in some of the lower trims such as the Limited and SCL Premium, it's just going to be limited to the front two windows. But outside of those four differences, they're essentially going to have all of the same equipment on the interior as well as exterior and pretty much everything that the Santa Fe has to offer in its current generation. Now, you might be wondering about the pricing difference between these two, and it's going to be exactly $2,000 of a price premium going to the Calligraphy over that of the standard Limited. So you'll have to ultimately decide whether or not you want to spend that extra $2,000 to get the Calligraphy, the paint match trim, all of the interior exterior accents, or essentially you can save that $2,000 and stick with the Limited and still get basically everything that the Santa Fe has to offer. And one last thing I do want to mention before we do the side-by-side walk-around comparison of these two is that if you want a hybrid or a plug-in hybrid Santa Fe, that tops out at the Limited trim. There is no Calligraphy available in those hybrids, unfortunately, which is a little bit unfortunate because I think a lot of people out there do like the exterior design differences with the paint match trim on the Calligraphy. And actually, if you're looking at a hybrid Santa Fe, believe it or not, the hybrid Limited is actually just a little bit cheaper than the gas Limited. I'm not exactly sure why that is, and I don't recall that being the case when I've done some of my videos in the past, but looking at the current pricing for the 2023 model year, the hybrid Limited is actually just a few $100s cheaper than that of the gas one seen behind me. So the Santa Fe's in front of us are finished in the Stormy Sea here on the left in the Limited and the Portoifino Gray here on the right in the Calligraphy. Both of them have the black leather interior, so they are going to be equal in that regard. And like I mentioned in the introduction, they're pretty much going to offer the exact same equipment, most of the features and options available on the Santa Fe, although there are just those few exclusive options over there on the Calligraphy. Now, the main difference that I want to point out to everyone watching is the exterior appearance and just some of the nicer materials over there on the Calligraphy. But by now, I'm sure you guys can see the exact difference in the front end. It's pretty much going to be limited to the grille finish as well as the grille design. So starting out here on the Limited, this is going to be the same front end and exterior appearance you're going to find on the SCL Premium and higher for 2023. Now with the Limited, you do gain the LED projector lighting. So it is mostly LED lighting at the front with your LED low and high beams, LED daytime running light, and LED turn signal. You do have the front and rear parking sensors on both of these two vehicles with the lower satin chrome trim as well. So you get the satin chrome upper with the matte black plastic lower trim. It really does look very nice in its own regard. You do have the 360 surround view camera system on both of these two vehicles. But moving over here to the Calligraphy, I think this sets it off extremely well, especially finished in this Portoifino Gray. So you have the exact same lighting setup, LED projector, low and high beam, turn signal, as well as daytime running light. There's your front parking sensors, of course, but in conjunction with the satin chrome trim on the lower section of the bumper and right below the main grille, you do have the gloss black, or I should say darkened chrome finish. It is a unique design, once again, to the Calligraphy with this more triangular shape versus that of this other shape over here. I'm not exactly sure what you would call it. So that is going to be the main difference at the front end of these two vehicles. Same exact features, options, and lighting, but the grille design both in the upper section and the lower section is going to be just a little bit different. But taking a look at the sides of the vehicle, you are going to get the paint match trim here on the Calligraphy versus that of the standard matte black plastic on the Limited and lesser trims of the Santa Fe. But before we get to that, I do want to touch on the wheel designs and the wheel sizes. So you are going to get a 20-inch alloy wheel here on the Calligraphy. That is an exclusive wheel design to that of this trim level versus that of the 19-inch wheel here on the Limited. And this wheel design is also shared with the SCL SEL Premium Hybrid as well. So this is a wheel that's used across multiple trim levels, and this is a 20-inch, so 1 inch larger, that is exclusive to the calligraphy itself. Both of them are machined alloys with the dark gray metallic finish. I actually think the Portoifino Gray goes extremely well with the machined accent finish on that wheel design in general. But as a whole, that is the difference there. Now in terms of the body cladding, like I mentioned, you are going to get paint match trim here on the calligraphy versus that of the standard matte black plastic. Both of them do have nice satin chrome accents on the lower door sill, around the door handles themselves, around the window trim, and of course you do get the gloss black B and C pillar trim on both as well. But starting out here on the mirrors, you do get body color mirror caps with LED turn signal integration and the 360 camera system on both. There is LED puddle lights on both, and they're not going to be auto dimming, unfortunately, on either one, but you do get blind spot detection, and they are going to be heated. Hyundai digital key with proximity entry on both front door handles. This one does have the optional roof cross rail accessory, but both of them do have the roof rail, so you can add that after the fact or take them off if you would like. And if you don't want that in specific and want to save just a little bit more money, then that would be where the Limited comes into play. You do have all of the matte black plastic, but all of the same nice satin chrome trim around the windows, the mirrors, the door handles, as well as the lower section of the door panels themselves. So that is going to be the main difference on the sides of the vehicle. But coming out back, you're gonna have the same LED tail lighting setup on both of these two models. You have your LED running light that spans across the entire tailgate, your incandescent reverse light in the upper section, and your LED turn signal and brake light down below here on the rear bumper. Now, similar to that of the front end in the grille design, you're gonna have a little bit of a difference here on the rear bumper of the calligraphy with the same kind of triangular gloss black trim that is right above the satin diffuser in this section right here. So that is going to be a gloss black design versus that of the Limited, which I believe is just a matte black and a slightly different pattern as well. But outside of that, both of them are gonna have, like I said, all of the LED lighting, the 2.5 liter turbo with the exhaust tip here on the right side of the lower diffuser. And just to quickly show you the differences in the Limited's rear bumper design, as you can see, that matte black plastic trim wraps around the rear bumper into the LED taillights and reflectors themselves. And then this portion here for the rear diffuser, like I said, is the matte black plastic that kind of just spans across the satin chrome trim there. You still have your integrated rear parking sensors and all of the same lighting, but it is just a little bit more premium on the calligraphy. So I first want to start out on the interior of the Limited, just show you around this vehicle in general, just really quickly. This is the black standard leather interior according to Hyundai. The calligraphy does have the Napa leather, which is just going to be a little bit more premium, a little softer to the touch, and maybe just a little bit more pliable and flexible as a whole. As far as the door panels go, there really isn't any difference that I can distinguish outside of the buttons themselves for the windows and mirror controls. Those are going to be black with the silver accent here on the Limited versus that of the all silver trim over there on the calligraphy. Both of them have the memory seating, the premium Harman Kardon audio, and a good amount of storage down below with all the soft touch padded armrest. The seat controls are going to be the same as well with your power leg extension, 4-way power lumbar on the driver's side, and all of your other power adjustments. Here with the Limited, you do not get the premium quilted look on the upper section of the seat, so that is going to be another difference between the two. If you guys do follow the channel, then you know I have several videos going over all of the features, so I'm not going to cover that in depth here on this particular video, but I do just want to point out some of the key differences. Really, all of this is going to be the same between the two. The steering wheel is going to be a perforated leather on the calligraphy versus that of just the normal leather wrap with the accent stitching here on the Limited. Really, the steering wheel controls, buttons, all that is going to be the same. Paddle shifters for the 8-speed automatic on the back side. There's your 12-inch fully configurable, fully digital LCD display controlled on the right side of the steering wheel. Highway drive assist 1 on both vehicles, smart cruise control, lane follow assist, all the usual stuff there. There's a look at the buttons on the left of the steering wheel. Soft touch here to the left of the air vent that follows along across the dashboard itself. 10.25-inch infotainment system paired to the Harman Kardon premium audio. Wired Android Auto, wired Apple CarPlay, all the usual stuff in that regard. Heated and ventilated front seats with your heated steering wheel. There's your all-wheel drive with center differential lock and your push-button gear selection for that transmission. Hyundai digital keypad, wireless charging pad. Both vehicles will have remote smart park assist on the key fob. And there is a good amount of storage here on the lower console with more charging and power ports if needed. I do like the soft touch accent here on the Limited. That is something you gain going to the higher trims versus that of things like the SEL or I think even the SEL Premium. There's your auto dimming interior rearview mirror with garage home link on the bottom. And another feature I do want to point out, or I guess another appearance and material difference, is going to be the headliner. So this is going to be a totally different headliner here in the Limited. It is the lighter gray heathered effect, if you will. I think they call it the melange headliner. It's very soft and does look a little bit nicer than some of these standard headliners, but the micro suede in the Calligraphy is certainly even nicer than this one. And just another difference I did want to point out, both of them will have the panoramic sunroof that does open. And coming to the back seat, really the only differences, like I said, on the door pin are going to be the buttons being all silver, rear side shades that are the manual type. The seats will all have the same reclining function that is standard on every Santa Fe. And the premium quilted accent here on the upper section will be on the Calligraphy in the back seats that are not here on the Limited either. There's your AC vents, USB-A charging, US 110 wall outlet as well, which is very handy to have if you travel or have kids. And finally, taking a quick look at the trunk. Both of them, of course, will have the power trunk. You can program the height via holding that button for about 3 to 5 seconds at whatever height you would like. Subwoofer on the left for the audio system. This one does not have the cargo cover accessory, but that is available on both vehicles. You have the power release folding second row seats with your 12-volt outlet. Both of them will come with a temporary fix-a-flat kit, not a spare tire. There's some of the additional storage in the Santa Fe, which is extremely nice. But that is a look on the interior of the Limited. I guess we will touch on the passenger front seat. They are going to be a power seat, but no lumbar adjustment. So now moving over here to the Calligraphy, I just wanted to show you guys the door panels and some of the interior because those are the main differences in materials just throughout the vehicle. So like I said, the door panels, you really can't tell the difference between the two outside of the silver accent buttons, which certainly contrast against the black leather interior quite a bit and just give it a little bit more of a premium touch in my opinion. Remember, all 4 windows are going to be automatic on the Calligraphy. You also do get the stainless steel accented Santa Fe door sill plates. They consider these the premium type. Both of them will say Santa Fe. The other ones are just all black plastic. And coming to the driver's seat, like I said, all the controls are going to be the same between the two. The material themselves, though, is going to be quite different. And you do get the premium quilted accent with the lighter gray accent stitching on the backs of the 2 front seats. So as a whole, this is definitely an upgrade in terms of the leather material themselves. And then coming to the steering wheel, like I mentioned, this gets the perforated side inserts here among the regular leather stitching that the other one does not have. And I guess the silver accented buttons here on the left and right side of the steering wheel are going to be another difference versus the standard black on the Limited. The paddle shifters are still going to be present in the silver accent trim. And like I said, as a whole, the technology and all of the features on the inside are going to be the same between the two. It's mainly just the material usage throughout here, the interior and the cabin space. And then I quickly wanted to show you the headliner because like I said, this one does get the micro suede headliner. It continues down the B pillars similar to that of the Limiteds that continues down. It's not for everybody. It definitely leaves smudges depending on which way the material is pushed. So it's not for everybody, but to me, I think the soft touch aspect of it really gives it a nice premium look. Taking a quick look at the back seat, the buttons on the door panel are going to be the same as the front, so they are the silver accent. You do get the premium dorsal plate in the back as well. And the quilted stitching here on the upper sections of the Napa leather seats does continue here on the back. It is the lighter gray, so it does stand out in contrast quite a bit more than that of the Limited stitching in general. But there's all the features, all going to be the same. And there's a better look at the headliner, the way the material may be depending on how you brush it. And you can kind of draw on it if you like. So that may be a good or bad thing if you have a couple children that like to touch the roof. And finishing up here on the passenger front seat, even the Calligraphy does not get lumbar adjustment here on the passenger seat. You still get the same power adjustments with the silver accented buttons, which look very nice. But really, that is going to be the main difference as a whole between the Calligraphy and the Limited itself. So let's go ahead and discuss this a little bit further, and then we'll go ahead and wrap up this video. So under the hood of both of these vehicles, you're going to find the 2.5 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder paired to an 8-speed wet dual clutch transmission. This engine and powertrain combination pushes out 290 horsepower and 311 pound-feet of torque, either through the front wheels or all four wheels if you option all-wheel drive. Now, like I mentioned in the introduction, the Limited can be had with the hybrid powertrain or the plug-in hybrid if you are in a select state where they do sell those vehicles. However, the Calligraphy is only available solely with the 2.5-liter turbo. So I know that's not something everybody wants out there, is the 8-speed dual clutch transmission. So that's been some questions I've seen here on the channel. Which would I recommend? And I have to say I have not driven either one back to back, so I can't say for sure. But I would say if you want the more conservative or traditional feeling powertrain, then the hybrid might be the way to go with the 6-speed torque converted automatic versus that of the dual clutch, which some people again do want, and you do have a little bit more performance with that transmission and this engine and powertrain combination. But again, it is something that will hesitate people to get a dual clutch in this style or type of vehicle. So I think that's going to do it for this video on the side-by-side comparison of the Limited and Calligraphy Hyundai Santa Fe here for the 2023 model year. If you guys enjoyed this video or found it helpful, make sure to hit that like button below. Greatly helps out the channel and these videos. And let me know down in the comment section below which one you would choose. Is the $2,000 price difference worth it to you? Or would you save the money, spend the money, and get the nicer premium materials on the exterior as well as interior? Let me know all that down in the comment section below. Now, just to quickly give you my personal opinion, I believe it is worth the extra cost to go with the Calligraphy. But again, I do value the paint match trim specifically on the exterior, as well as the Napa leather seating surfaces here on the inside. Now, to me, the headliner isn't really a big deal. Some people love it or hate it. It is black in color versus that of the, I guess, darker or more middle gray over there on the Limited. So that is another difference. It makes the interior feel just a little bit smaller here, being it all black. However, if you do open up the panoramic sunroof, that issue pretty much goes away, and this lets in a ton of natural light and gives you the more open air feel. So really, it's just the color of the headliner that will give you a minor difference in that regard, but certainly the paint match trim on the outside, the 20-inch wheels, and the Napa leather seating surfaces are some of the bigger features that I would value in a vehicle like this. Now, if you guys are interested in other trim levels of the Santa Fe and want more detailed walk-around videos, I have several here on the channel, including one on the Limited in the Portoifino Gray, which I'm currently sitting in here in the Calligraphy. So if you want to know every other trim level of the Santa Fe, I think I have every one except the Calligraphy as far as a dedicated video. So I'd make sure to check those out if you guys are interested. A lot more information, including the pricing, features, all that inside of those videos. So I'd highly recommend checking those out if you're curious about what the Santa Fe has to offer and a general walk-around of the vehicle itself. So with all that being said, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. I appreciate the continued support on the channel, and as always, hope to see you guys in the next one.